Greetings Guardians. Zeus here, and today we dive into one of the most exciting revelations for the web version of Hero Wars. A mysterious teaser about a new hero tied to water had everyone speculating. And now, we believe we've got our answer. It's Cascade, a brand new intelligence-based hero whose entire kit is built around fluid disruption, shifting defenses, and washing away enemy stability. Cascade represents the very essence of the element of water, and his arrival is timed perfectly with the icy rework of Christa. Together, they signal the beginning of a whole new chapter in Dominion's history. So why do we think it's Cascade? Because everything points to it. The developers teased water imagery, currents, and flow, and Cascade embodies all of that. His design, his abilities, even his mechanics scream fluid motion and control. And more importantly, he fills a role that has been missing in many team lineups, a mage-like controller who can adapt his damage type, shred defenses, and punish enemies no matter how they try to build against him. Let's break down his skills in detail. Cascade's ultimate, Hydrokinesis, is a storm unleashed. He calls down a heavy downpour that damages enemies each second for 4 full seconds while also weakening their defenses. But the brilliance of this skill is that it adapts its effect depending on the target's main stat. Strength-based enemies take physical damage while having their armor and magic defense reduced. Agility-based enemies take magic damage and are blinded, stripping away their ability to land basic attacks. Intelligence-based enemies take physical damage and are silenced, shutting down their skill casting. It's a layered design that ensures Cascade always hits where it hurts most. No matter what the enemy's foundation is, Cascade has an answer ready. He isn't just dealing damage, he's applying targeted disruption that dismantles every kind of opponent. His second skill, Tidal Wave, is where the disruption truly begins. Cascade dashes through enemy lines, striking enemies with magic damage and knocking them back. The closer enemies are to him, the more forceful the knockback. But he doesn't just dash once and stop, he returns to a new position, mirroring the original distance from the furthest enemy. This makes Cascade unpredictable, repositioning himself across the field and scattering enemy formations. Tanks are pulled out of place, backliners are shoved into danger, and the battlefield becomes chaos. This isn't just movement for show, it's calculated disruption that sets the stage for his other skills to shine. The third skill, Refluence, connects directly to his dash. After using Tidal Wave, Cascade inflicts the sodden armor status on enemies he struck. This debuff lasts for 8 seconds and deals extra damage of the same type whenever the afflicted enemy is hit. But here's the devastating part, if the damage comes from an allied mystery hero, that extra damage is doubled. It means Cascade doesn't just punish enemies on his own, he empowers his allies to follow through. Every strike from your team becomes heavier, every combo lands harder, and the pressure builds until the enemy crumbles. Refluence is a perfect example of how Cascade transforms your entire squad into a tidal surge. Finally, his fourth skill, Elemental Surge, is what ties his whole kit together. Cascade's magic defense penetration is always equal to his armor penetration, and when one of these stats is modified, the other follows. This alone makes him incredibly adaptive, ensuring he can cut through defenses whether the enemy stacks armor or magic resistance. But the real kicker is how his basic attacks shift. If the target's armor is higher than their magic defense, Cascade's basics deal magic damage. If the target's magic defense is higher, his basics deal physical damage. And if his attack penetrates both defenses, the target also takes pure damage on top. This means Cascade cannot be walled off. No matter how the enemy builds, Cascade finds a way through. He is the current that erodes every rock, the storm that pierces every shield. Looking at this kit as a whole, It's clear that Cascade is not just another intelligence mage. He is a hybrid disruptor, a control specialist, and a damage dealer rolled into one. He doesn't rely on just magic to win, he adjusts, he adapts, and he punishes the opponent's weaknesses. Teams that once felt safe behind stacked defenses will find no comfort against him. And the way his kit ties into ally synergy, especially with mystery faction heroes, means he is designed not just to be powerful, but to elevate his entire lineup. And now let's bring Krista into the picture, because her rework lands at the exact same time as Cascade's arrival. For years, Krista was always thought of as the other half of Lars. Strong with him, but often underwhelming alone. That changes now. With her updates, Krista finally steps into her own power, becoming a true standalone mage. Her Ascension 2 skill, Generous Marks of Water, turns every strike against her marked enemies into healing for her allies. Whenever a mage on your team deals magic damage to a marked target, they recover half that damage as health. This is an incredible sustain mechanic, especially in magic-heavy lineups where damage is constant. And with Cascade in the mix, scattering enemies and applying sodden armor, Krista's marks ensure your allies are not just punishing, but also recovering. Her Ascension 4, Volatile Crystallization, takes her Ice Block to the next level. No longer just a defensive pause, Ice Block now ends with an explosion that damages surrounding enemies. It turns survival into offense and forces enemies to pay for trying to focus her down. The rest of her kit has been elevated too. Marks of Water are now immune to cleanses and cannot be blocked, making them reliable and permanent throughout the fight. Chains of Frost doubles its magic defense reduction, amplifying the entire team's output. And Icy Vengeance now scales with greater power, ensuring her ultimate delivers lethal blows. Add her brand new magic penetration skin, and Krista becomes a serious threat against any opponent. Put Cascade and Krista together, and you see the future of Dominion's battlefield. Cascade disrupts, adapts, and weakens enemies, while Krista capitalizes with reliable marks, healing sustain, and explosive damage. Cascade dashes through lines, Krista freezes them in place. Cascade applies sodden armor to punish enemies every time they are struck, Krista marks them so every strike heals your team. Cascade adapts his basic attacks to always hit where it hurts, Krista ensures no defense stands against her icy storm. The two heroes don't just complement each other, they embody a new philosophy of relentless adaptability. This is why the timing feels so intentional. The Dominion is entering a new era, and it's being led by the power of water. Cascade's storm is unstoppable, and Krista's frost is unbreakable. Together, they represent both chaos and control, disruption and sustain. For too long, physical teams with armor penetration dominated the field. Now, with Cascade flowing into battle and Krista ascending to independence, magic is rising once more. Guardians, prepare yourselves. Cascade is coming, Krista is transforming, and Dominion will never be the same again. This is the time to gather your resources, plan your investments, and get ready for the storm. Because when the waters rise and the ice strikes, you'll want to be on the side that rides the current, not the one that gets swept away. Stay tuned, stay sharp, and as always, salute and friendship.